Hello again, you YouTubers, Ultimate SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel, celebrating our 7th anniversary with an all-new SpongeTalk video. So, we're going to be using this particular video to talk about SpongeBob Mobile Apps, specifically for iOS and Android, and what's going on with SpongeBob Mobile Apps, their decline, and what's going to happen next. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, hey YouTubers, and welcome to part number 8 of our 7th anniversary celebrations, and today we're looking at SpongeBob Mobile Apps and their decline. Alright, so this is part of a new way of doing SpongeTalk videos. We haven't done a SpongeTalk video in over 10 months, so I figure, we should really talk about some new types of topics that are very relevant, but sometimes still do go under the carpet. Alright, so SpongeBob Mobile Apps. Now, SpongeBob Mobile Apps, for this video, I'm going to be using Apple apps themselves, because, it's not that Google apps are being updated or are still relevant. It just so happens that, I mostly use Apple. I only use Apple, so whatever SpongeBob apps that have App Store versions also have Google Play versions, I understand, but they're always more or less the same. Alright, all the main content is the same and all that. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the Nickelodeon developer site here on iTunes, apple.com. And you see, iPhone apps, we've got quite a few of them, but most of them are in SpongeBob. It was a different thing back in the day, as I would say. And now we're gonna swap over to the Nickelodeon app support site, and I'll show you guys that. So this is the Nickelodeon app support site. Now this entire site provides support for all mobile applications that Nickelodeon puts out. All right, and so of course we have the page SpongeBob Moves In here. I apologize for this top bar. I don't know why Nickelodeon designs their websites like that, but that's not the topic of this video. But as you can see, current event: how long will sale items be available? How do I know what's new in the store? Well, there's nothing new in the store. If you guys have played SpongeBob Moves In, and of course I know many of the viewers here do, you would know that there are hardly any updates to SpongeBob Moves In. There is no updates. Why am I even being nice to it? There is no updates to SpongeBob Moves In on the App Store and Google Play. And so the question is, why isn't there any new updates? Why aren't there any new items? Why aren't there any new characters? There have been plenty of opportunities for Nickelodeon to capitalize on new SpongeBob episodes and all that. Even the You Bring the Color Week, or not even that, maybe the Legend of Bikini Bottom. Why didn't they have a Halloween event for 2017? So this question has a few plausible answers. Firstly, Nickelodeon has given up on SpongeBob apps on mobile, right? It only makes sense that it's probably not easy to maintain, it's probably costly, and all they have to do is just keep maintaining the servers, and everyone can still play SpongeBob Moves In. They just don't have to pay people to update to create new content for the app. And that's the thing. So this is in 2017. In 2014, Nickelodeon actually shuttered their final virtual world. If you guys remember, it is called Monkey Quest, and I'll just show you guys a post right here. Alright, so here on the Monkey Quest Wikipedia page, of course this game is no longer active, and I don't even know why this page is still here. It's probably for archive only. As you can see, Monkey Quest was shut down on September 26, 2014, so that Nickelodeon could focus on other digital and mobile experiences. So in order to focus on so-called other digital and mobile experiences, they closed down a whole MMORPG. That's a whole virtual world. They shuttered the entire virtual world department. I don't even know where the remaining staff went to. They did sell off Neopets and Pet Pet Park to Jumpstart, which subsequently shut down Pip Park, so Nickelodeon's virtual legacy was essentially crushed. All right, and so they say digital and mobile experiences. Now, remember, in 2014, this was the time where SpongeBob Moves In was still pretty active. In fact, it was probably counted as SpongeBob Moves In the most active year for SpongeBob Moves In. We had the Christmas event, Halloween event, plenty of things to do. All right, and that was compared with now. That is compared with now, where 2-3 years later, there are completely no updates for SpongeBob Moves In. There's no updates for other SpongeBob apps like SpongeBob Marbles and Slides, which, by the way, hasn't been updated since 2012. And in terms of content, of course. And there are other apps like SpongeBob Game Frenzy, which was released in 2016, yes, but it hasn't gotten a content update for more than a year. So, what is Nickelodeon actually planning for SpongeBob apps? The way it does seem, however, is actually nothing. They're not planning anything. They're not planning to, improve the SpongeBob apps or anything like that. We noticed that there are new Game Shakers apps on the App Store. I'll swap over to the App Store and show that to you in a moment. Alright, so here we're back at the App Store, and here, as we saw earlier, Nickelodeon iPhone apps on the App Store, we have Sky Whale, Nasty Goats, Octopi, Llama Spit, I don't even know what name is that, Ballerina. This is also a relatively new game, Henry Danger Crime War. And so Nickelodeon actually is concerned about Game Shakers, and they make lots of apps to tie into it. They show it by putting up the apps on the App Store in the very first place. And with the exception of SpongeBob SquarePants stickers, we actually haven't had mobile applications that are the traditional version of mobile applications. So this just leads us to believe that Nickelodeon doesn't really make a lot of money from SpongeBob applications. Either that, but because the thing is, when SpongeBob Moves In first came out, they were doing pretty darn well, and although people were complaining that the in-app purchases were crazily expensive, but they were still doing pretty well. However, fast forward to now, they don't seem like they're actually doing that impressively at all, given, or at least that's what we can assume, since they don't actually bother to update the apps. In fact, this SpongeBob Moves In icon has been here since 2014. 2015. So that's a pretty darn long time for an app not to get a update. And you can look over at other apps like Simpsons Tapped Out that's being updated very frequently. In fact, in iOS 11, SpongeBob Marbles and Slides is not even updated to match iOS 11. That's why you don't see it here, but it's still on app support. So, why? Why Nickelodeon? Why? They could really do a great job with SpongeBob apps, and honestly, I really hope to see more SpongeBob apps, or at least they could just maintain the SpongeBob apps that they are already, it's already in distribution. However, they don't seem to do that, so you know what? That's the reason why we can say that SpongeBob mobile applications for Google Play, on Google Play Android devices, as well as iOS devices, are really declining. And they're almost at rock bottom, because it doesn't seem like Nickelodeon happens to really bother about these apps at all. And, given all the possible marketing possibilities with SpongeBob, and the fact that they're not updating their SpongeBob apps, says a lot about the direction of SpongeBob mobile apps in general, which is disappointing. Yep, that's understandable. In fact, SpongeBob Marbles and Slides is still probably my favorite traditional mobile game to play, although it hasn't been updated for over 6 years. But still, I really enjoy it, and those are the experiences that, especially when I played it as when I was a child, that was really, really fun, really engaging, and it actually does train your mind a little bit too. So yeah, hopefully Nickelodeon turns around and makes more SpongeBob apps, or just updates their SpongeBob apps, because there are a lot of SpongeBob fans out there. I'm sure you guys want to see updates to SpongeBob Moves In, especially. because that's an app that has endless possibilities. Unlike this app here, which is right on the bottom, Sponge on the Run, which it was it was put out particularly because of the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water back in 2015, and so now it's kind of just like left lying there, and there's not much use for it. So Nickelodeon, please update your SpongeBob mobile applications on iOS and Android, because there are a lot of fans that want to see that. So what do you guys think about the decline of SpongeBob mobile applications? Comment in the box below. I really want to hear your thoughts, and we can discuss more about these. If you have any other topics that you want us to discuss for SpongeTalk, make sure to also post them in the comments box below. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comment, etc. And keep it right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101 for plenty more SpongeBob videos in the near future. In the next video, we're going to be covering something something we did mention in the previous video. So stay tuned for that. Part 9 is coming up soon. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Keep it right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101. And I hope you guys enjoyed this new format of SpongeTalk. See you guys next time. Bye.